Welcome to Gen Z Hoops, the Gen Z basketball, coaching, and sports business show. On this podcast, you'll learn from professional players, coaches, and executives from all over the world and see the court in a brand new way. And now, joining you courtside, your Gen Z host, John Hartofilis.
Hey, Mo, what's going on?
Yo, what's going on, my guys?
Dude, looking forward to this. This is so much fun having you on. I know we've been texting for a while and just, obviously it's always fun talking to someone else that's super young in the sports industry, and especially someone with a huge social media outlook and really trying to get into that from the early stages of social media. Just so much fun. So thanks for coming on.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about how you first got started, years ago, when whether it's the early days of Instagram, all these social media platforms, and how you got started with RTNBA and everything like that.
Yeah, man. I used to tweet on my personal page about sports, and it would do pretty well where I get like retweeted and stuff. And I saw this one guy named NFL Retweet, and I was like, "Hey, do you mind if I start like a basketball type page?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, like go ahead, like go ahead for it, like do your thing, but just like a heads up, like a lot of people have tried this and they've quit. I think it was like 5 others have tried and they've quit." So he was like, "Just don't be the next one, waste my time." I was like, "All right, man, no problem, sounds good." And I made a RTNBA because NBA RT was taken, and just started pretty much doing my thing on that page, except I kind of changed it up because it was like a brain, So I noticed after a few months, I was kind of like talking to a wall, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. I had like 5,000 followers or something, and I would tweet every single day, multiple times a day. And I hit him up, and I was like, "Yo, like I don't think it's gonna work out. I'm gonna like stop doing it." And he's like, "Man, like I don't want you to be like another one to like quit again." He's like, "Remember what I told you?" So I'm like, "All right, man, like I got you. Like, don't even worry about it." And I kind of started to be who I was again, and just like kind of rode that wave. And here I am in 2021. I started that in 2012. I was only on Twitter for maybe the first, maybe 4 or 5 years. Finally got onto Instagram. I always hated Instagram early on. I don't really know why, but I didn't like it too much. And then once I got on Instagram and finally understood it, got onto TikTok, got on Snapchat, Facebook, everything. I'm literally everywhere now. So,
oh, definitely, it's so interesting obviously the story of not giving up and obviously everyone has those thoughts thinking about it. And it's a lot of things people talk about it all the time. How most podcasts don't get past episode 7. So like that's like a huge thing. And that was something that when I was doing this show in August, I had 7 episodes and maybe 8 episodes, and no one was listening. And I wanted to stop doing this thing. And now it's obviously just keep going for a little bit, and you could just crazy things happen. But what I'm so curious about is obviously starting up on Twitter and really like both like I'm super curious about that, like just like not seeing a lot of progress, and then all of a sudden, like I'm curious, when was that tipping point for you where you were like, okay, wow, like I was just about to quit, but now it's a whole different story. But when did that kind of light bulb click for you?
Yeah, man. I'm literally talking to a brick wall for months. No joke. Like I would stay up, do a bunch of tweets for the next day, like schedule them or like type them out and stuff. Because I used to use my computer a lot more. After maybe a few months of that, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? And that's when I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if I should be doing this anymore." And then like literally, he didn't even say much. He was just like, "I don't want you to be another one. Like, come on now." And I was like, "All right, man. Like, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna do this. Like, that's it. Like, I'm gonna do it." I was 18 years old or 19 years old, and I was like, I'm going to stop trying to be like this person or that company or this brand. I'm going to be myself. And I got to where I am here, just like, let me see how like further I can go. And I just noticed like I would experiment with some crazy stuff. Like for instance, I had the top 5 fans for every single team in the league. So all 30 teams. And I would do rankings. I'd rank the best 5 fans that I knew that followed me. And it got to a point where it was like a competition. people were fighting. Like, yo, I want to be in third spot. I want to be in first. And like it caught fire. I never saw anyone else do that before. Like,
yeah, I love that.
Bored like one day, because the reason I started the account also because I was a valet parker. When you're a valet parker, you park a bunch of cars all at once, and then you sit there for 2 hours. You don't do anything. And growing up, my dad taught me to always make the most out of my time. So I was just like, all right, like let me just try this out. Let me just try doing this. And yeah, man, like it went crazy. Like that was definitely one of the things that definitely like put me up there.
I love that, and hearing stories like that, obviously, I love hearing, because I dealt with a similar thing. For me, it was really about realizing, you know what, whatever happens, I'm going to reach out to 1,000 people and see if they can come on, and then the guess is really what kept me going. And, you know, I love how it's for you, it was coming up with a creative idea of, you know what, let me have all my followers competing against each other for the number one spot, and now you're getting engagement and traction on your stories. That's genius. But I'm thinking about when you were talking before about like going from Twitter to all these different platforms. What made you decide to do that? Was it like Instagram now coming out? Because I think 2016, 2017 was when they started coming out with videos, and Vine was, you know, on its last leg, but they had just stopped. So Instagram kind of took over at that point, and now with TikTok and everything, it's just constantly changing. But what kind of made you think, okay, let me go to all these different platforms and grow it?
Yeah, so I decided to go on Instagram because I kept on hearing like, oh, it's the platform you got to be on, like the most users, you know, it's related to Facebook, you know. I don't know if Facebook owned it at that time when I jumped on there, and I just didn't want to be known as the Twitter guy, you know. So, and even on a personal front, I barely ever used Instagram. I didn't really care for pictures. I really cared about what's on my mind. That's why I made the Twitter. I was just saying my takes and what I thought and stuff. And you really couldn't do that with pictures, but now it's like a completely different ball game. And now you can do videos on Instagram. You can freaking put up stories on Instagram. You can do Instagram lives. Instagram as a platform has definitely grown, and I'm happy I was able to grow with it. And I told everyone Instagram was really hard to understand for me. Like, I think I did it for maybe a year and a half or 2 years, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was just posting, but I didn't know what I was doing. Like, literally, like, I did not understand it. I'd keep on asking one of my friends that was, like, really big in the game, and he'd just be like, consistency, just keep on doing it. You'll understand it. And I can confidently tell you, I understand it. Like, I don't know everything, but I know more than I did. And it's just crazy that I did it for that long, but it's just because, like, I went through the same thing with Twitter. Like, just shut up and do it. Like, I just did it, kept on doing it every single day, and I had no idea what I was doing at first. But now I confidently say I understand it a decent amount, and I'm still growing and still learning every single day. When they change the algorithm, I'll notice something, I'll tweak something, I'll experiment with it. I'll talk to friends in the area, we'll notice something, and we'll all run with it. So it's crazy because it's something challenging, and you're able to knock it down. So that's real cool. Snapchat, I've had my Snapchat for, like 5 years now, and I really utilized it when I went to Vegas Summer League. It was Zion's first game, and I was sitting courtside, and I saw him doing these like insane dunks. So like, I'm like, you know what? Like, let me put this on Snapchat. Let me see like what could happen. Snapchat has like their own explore page, and people were saying like, yo, this guy's sitting courtside, Zion's dunking like this, like what? And my account just started blowing up, and that was honestly pretty much overnight. But sadly, Zion got injured a couple minutes into the game, but I got all of his warm-up dunks in, so that was the big thing. And then that was RJ Barrett too. Who else? There was a couple rookies that were going crazy. That was the year when I think it was Jackson Hayes of the Pelicans. He obviously he wasn't 21 at that time, and he had the Dre's wristband on, and everyone was like, "Yo, how did he get into Dre's? He's not even 21 years old. Like, what's going on there?" So that was like a really, really lit summer league. But yeah, that's honestly Snapchat. Like, it kind of just blew up overnight because of Zion. Shout out to Zion. And then TikTok. I don't know. Have you used TikTok much, John?
I've tried to. That's another thing. I was going to say, like, it's interesting how, like, one thing that's coming from going on TikTok is I don't understand it, but you're telling us how you built an empire on Instagram, not knowing how to use Instagram, which is just stop complaining and just be consistent and start doing it. I love that.
Yeah, and TikTok, I think, is the only app I ever created where you can literally post a video and you have no idea what could happen. And wake up the next morning, you could have 2 million views, and you're just like, hold up, what just happened? And I've even seen this happen with like people in my own city and stuff. So I think it's cool. Like, you're giving people that don't already have a big reach a chance to get that big reach. And what I tell people is, like, when they go viral, you better keep on continuing to make content, because when you go viral, people go look at your page. And if the content on your page is something they like, they're going to hit the follow button. And that right there is key. Like, that's how you want to keep on growing and just begin bigger, building your brand or personal brand or whatever you're working on.
Consistency is so important, because if you have one post go viral, it's great. You could always say I had a post with a million likes on Instagram or a million views on TikTok. But if you're not, the only way you're going to convert those people to followers is if your content's good across the board. So that's I mean, love what you're saying on that. It's just social media gospel in that sense. I'm thinking about. I was going to ask you this at the beginning when you were talking about getting started on Instagram and everything. Was it tough, like, kind of taking that, because you already had the RTNBA brand from Twitter, but it had been around for years. You already had success with it. People obviously knew what you were doing, to like getting that username on Instagram. Like was it tough to make that switch over, like, so kind of late in the game, or was it like, how did you do that?
So getting the username, no, because I already like park it. Like, whenever I hear about a new social media platform,
Yep.
Park my name, park it, as in, like, I download the app and register RTNBA to my email. So on even Byte, whatever app you go on, Clubhouse, they don't let you do under 5 characters. So I just did NBA retweet. But if I could see myself using Clubhouse, I'm sure I'll reach out to someone at Clubhouse and be like, hey, I have RTNBA on these socials, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Get it. So I park it everywhere, and then hopefully one day I'll use it. So that's just kind of how I got it on Instagram.
Yeah, I was just curious, because I'm thinking to myself, like, everyone's probably watching and saying, okay, wow, like this is working on Twitter, and trying to use that. So obviously
people do that.
It's huge.
Yeah,
it's a problem. So definitely good that you're on top of the game and jump in. I mean, that definitely TikTok, when no one was really talking about it, to just jump on that, because now obviously you're all over TikTok.
It's funny that you brought that up. About 10 minutes before I got on this, my friend texted me, hey, do you know what Hive is? I was like, what are you saying? Like Bayhive? Like, not say? He was like, no, like the Hive social app. And I'm like, what is this? He's like, go look it up. And I checked it out. And it's like some type of TikTok for Twitter. I don't understand it. I don't know what the heck it is, but I parked RTNBA on it. Like,
yeah,
literally.
You need to.
So
yeah.
I have no idea what it is. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I parked RTNBA on it.
If you're listening to this podcast right now and you were about to go on Hive and take RTNBA, too late. Sorry, you missed your chance. you just missed it. That's pretty funny. And then I'm curious too, because we always spoken about all these platforms, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. I saw that over the summer you were doing a lot of stuff on Twitch, and obviously gaming's always been a huge thing for you. So what's it like, kind of getting on that platform finally? Because Twitch is even something that you're either super into it or you're not into it at all. And that's kind of why people kind of don't understand it as much as they should.
Yeah, man. When the pandemic hit, I was in my room and I really wasn't leaving it. So go back to what I said earlier, is my dad taught me to make the most out of my time. So I'm sitting in my room. I had to make some changes, built me a nice office, did a desk, put my TV up on the wall. I've never been a handyman ever in my life. So I got that done, and I got a sick gaming computer to help me, like, also with the work I do. And I was like, yo, I'm playing Call of Duty 5 hours a day. Like, I should start streaming, like, and I play with pretty cool people, like people in NBA, people in NFL, like, people that others want to see. So I'm like, all right, like, let me try streaming this. So I started streaming, and I don't know, it became pretty fun. It wasn't like a job or anything. Like, I used to get on, and I had a lot of my followers would come and watch and support me. And I'd have like special guests on every other week, or like twice a month, really. And I did it for, I think, 4 months, and then I stopped in December, because one thing about gaming and streaming is a schedule. I couldn't commit to no schedule. Like, I can't. Like, I don't know where I'm going to be. Like, for instance, this podcast, we've been talking since January 12th, I think. here we are, February 3rd. It's about to be the 4th. Like, I can't commit.
A few minutes.
Yeah, so I haven't streamed in probably almost like a month and a half now. So, but I love it, and I still game. But like, I'll randomly jump on at 1 a.m. and game. Like, I'm not gonna randomly jump on and stream, you know. But I had a blast doing it. It was really fun, and I learned something that I never like did before. You know, streamed and like talking while I'm playing. Like when I first started, I was like really bad. I could not talk and play at the same time. Now I'm like commentating and like asking the player, like, yo, like what was your first what the F moment in the NBA? And I'm sitting here killing like 3 guys in front of me in the game, and it's pretty cool, like acquiring that trait and stuff.
Yeah, definitely something that just gets better with time. And I'm thinking about it. Are you, because obviously you're a huge sports guy, is it mainly just 2K Madden, or, you know, when you talk about killing, is it Call of Duty too?
Yeah, I streamed like very, very minimal Fortnite. I did Madden, but for some reason my stream was like lagging really bad. So I only did like 2 games, but outside of that, Call of Duty, Warzone. I think Warzone, maybe a couple of search and store games, but mainly Warzone.
Definitely, that's super cool. And then actually thinking back to what you were saying before about going to things like Summer League and going to all these games, I'm guessing, is that like a huge, like, did that really start with the social media stuff? Were you going to a lot of games before that? Like, what really got you so into doing all the, like, obviously going in person way back when we were able to, you know, almost a year ago?
I don't know. I was like, even in high school, I used to always go to Lions games and Pistons games before I even had RTNBA, but I just love going to sporting events because if I'm not going to be there, I'm going to be at home watching it. So I was like, you know, if I have the moolah, like I might as well just go down the street. Like Pistons tickets are like $10, you know. But now I'm thankful where I don't really have to pay for them, so it's cool to go and watch, you know, the guys play and stuff. Right now I can't because of the pandemic, but yeah, I try to always go to all the events and big networking. Like I go to All-Star Weekend on my own dime. I try to meet as many people, network, make some really good friends, go with my online friends that I don't get to hang out with on a random Tuesday, you know. But hey, All-Star Weekend, all right, the boys are all getting together, you know. So it's just cool, something to look forward to.
I wish we had $10 tickets at Madison Square Garden, but I can promise you that's not the case. I've never been to a Knicks game for under a few. It's the MSG and James Dolan have not been kind to us in that regard.
So I've only been to, I think, a boxing fight at MSG, which was like last year.
Yeah, no, the Knicks games are crazy. It's a crazy experience though. The only time I've been to a better atmosphere was when I went to, and this is obviously was when I went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year to see Giannis. Everyone blames me for them blowing the 2-0 lead, but I went to that, and dude, seeing the entire country of Canada in that building was insane. But
I went to Game 1 NBA Finals, so Raptors
really?
and
Raptors Warriors, yeah, that's sick.
Raptors, and
that's when Siakam had 30 something. Siakam went off.
They were celebrating downtown like they won the NBA Finals after Game 1. I mean, they ended up winning it, but it was wild.
Yeah, the crazy thing, because when I went, we went to Game 3 in person. I'm sorry, in the actual arena. Game 4, we were going to go and just go to Jurassic Park, but then we ended up saying, okay, let's go inside and watch the game anyway. So we ended up getting tickets like before we got to, we were waiting online for Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, I would rather pay to stay in Jurassic Park than go into the game. And Jurassic Park is free. Yeah, no, it's right outside the arena with the TV screen, dude. So next time you go to Toronto, I'm telling you, save money. Don't go into the arena. Jurassic Park. I got a T-shirt from Drake's guys were throwing out T-shirts of the game of the shot, dude. It was that's my best advice to anyone: is do not go to Scotiabank Arena. Just go outside. Way more fun. Now I just cost them a couple $100 from people, but whatever, it's fine. I'm telling you, it's a good idea. But going back to before we got into this whole arena talk, you were talking about how it's a great opportunity when you go to All-Star Weekend and Summer League to meet up with all the friends that you've made through RTNBA. I'm assuming guys, whatever other influencers that have their own huge pages. And what's it like, kind of having making friends through this whole network all over the world? That you have your page, I have my page, and you guys working together and all that stuff. How does that all play out?
We just get together and it's like a little power circle, I guess you could say, where we just feed off each other, like literally bounce off ideas. Or be like, yo, I got this viral clip today. Like literally, Charlotte was 2 years ago, and someone was able to go the Thursday night games, the young boys, when the internationals and the U.S. players played versus each other. One of the boys was able to go, and he was like, "Yo, I got some clips. Like, you want me to send it to you guys?" And like stuff like that, like little stuff like that, where we'll share it with each other and stuff. And we think like we can go viral with that. And like I was at Kuzma's camp in I think 2019 now. Man, we like rough year for 2020, but that was 2019 where I went to Kuzma's camp and I got a bunch of videos and I sent it to a bunch of my friends that run pages. Like, yo, here's some content I was able to grab. Like, go ahead, throw it up. So it's kind of just like feeding off each other and just helping each other out.
Well, I love that, and it's so cool that that's able to happen. And there's all these great basketball minds all over the world, all with their own accounts and all. But the biggest thing is all obviously working together and seeing each other as friends. Yeah,
player. That's the biggest thing. Like everyone likes each other. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's super important. And then just before we wrap up, I'm curious as to what's next for whether it's RTNBA or what you're looking to do. What do you have your sights on, and where do you see yourself growing?
Yeah, it's funny because everyone always asks me this, and I want to say 5 years ago, I had no clue. I was just doing whatever, and I guess that's just how it is if you're 20, 21 years old. But now, maybe down the road in 5 or 10 years, I want to have like 10 or 20 just mini-me's underneath me that kind of like feed off the same blueprint maybe. And like Moe and his team, like the people we got to go to like make our athlete, our artist, our team, whatever look cool, marketing, branding, social media wise. And I'm not even sure if that's exactly what I want to do, but I feel like that might be something cool. Like I could have my own company or whatever down the road. I don't know if it'll be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I don't know. But obviously continuously growing the brand wise and personally.
Of course, that's cool. Obviously thinking about how much can change this time next year, 2 years from now. I mean, everyone's thinking 5, 10 years down the line, life could totally change a month. I think a month ago today, I just started Gen Z Hoops. Before that, it was a whole different thing, and like things change all the time. So it's crazy to think about how much you could do in such a short time. But yeah, I mean, Mo, thanks so much for coming on. And obviously, everyone knows where to find you at RTNBA. They can find you on Hive, on any platform they want. They can definitely find you. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on, and can't wait to obviously talk again in the future and see this episode blow up.
Yeah, John, thank you for having me. And bro, you've been doing a great job. You've had, I think now over 40 total episodes. So like you're doing your thing, like every episode takes up a lot of work and a lot of your time. So appreciate you having me on and being able to work with the schedule. But yeah, man, keep on doing your thing, and appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for listening to Gen Z Hoops. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all major social media platforms at Gen Z Hoops. You can tune in and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and every other podcast platform on the planet. Get ready for the next episode.